issue that's 3 dimensions away from Cyberpunk 2077 having lots more expansions. I'm your host 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Cyberpunk 2077, released in 2020. Cyberpunk 2077 is a video game that's based off of like a board games, I want to say, like about a lore. I guess it's a book series or a board game that essentially was adapted by CD Projekt Red into video games. CD Projekt Red, of course, being famous for making the Witcher games, which are also books that they turn into games. And so this game essentially is like a massive open world game that was like first announced in like 2013. And like it was like, oh, it's gonna be for the PS4 and it's gonna be so powerful. And then of course the game did not come out until 2020 for the PS5 and PS4. And so yeah, this game was years in the making. I even think it might have been even they were gonna say it's gonna come out for the 360 and PS3. But like, yeah, this game took forever to come out. Like this game was like in development for such a long time. Like I think The Witcher 3, the reason why was because at first The Witcher 3 was like the main thing they were focusing on. They're like, look, we announced it, it's on the back burner right now. We're just trying to focus on Witcher 3, which I think they didn't finish that game until like 2015, 2016. So that's when after that full development took over on Cyberpunk, and then that's when the game finally launched in 2020. But even then, some people said 2023 probably would have been the best time to release it because it had a lot of issues in this game at launch. I would look, full discretion, I did not get this game at launch. I got this game for Christmas in 2020. So a lot of the bugs that people experience on their PC and on the Xbox and on the PS4 and PS5 and Xbox X, I did not experience that because I did not get the game until December, okay? So, but I did experience some bugs. I just want to be full disclosure on that. I 100% understand that people don't like this game because of the bugs, and people felt ripped off because the developers tried to rush it out so that way they can get their bonuses because they figure, you know, and I understand that. I understand. You know, but as for like me playing the game, I really enjoyed the game when it came out. I did choose Corpo because Corpo just looked cooler to me. I know a lot of people probably chose the Street Kid, or they probably chose like, you know, Dirt Duster, you know. I understand that. I chose Corpo because I just want to be a Corpo because, you know, I like the fancy houses. I did not know that they could not have apartments and everything, that you only get one apartment, and that the Corpo essentially lifestyle is just only for like 5 minutes and then you're, you know, Street Kid. So really the life choices and life's path don't really matter. You know, I did not know that. And I did not know also that when you create your own character that you basically stuck to that character customization. You know, that I did wish I would have known, or else I would have probably customized a lot better. But you know, when a game first launched, I still didn't let that bother me. I really enjoyed this game. I liked that I could go around collecting clothes. Like for me, I would just walk around trying to get my feel of the game before I did any missions. Like just walk around and like collect like homeless stuff, like, you know, clothes and all that stuff, and then I would just store it in my house, you know, which is V's apartment. And then, you know, of course I did create the male version because I felt like I wanted to be like Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner, you know, 2049. Like I kind of try to customize like Ryan Gosling, even though you really didn't have that option. So I was trying to just like make it like that, you know. And you know, the game is essentially like that in a way. It's like Blade Runner 2049 meets RoboCop. And essentially, like, you have all these Easter eggs and nods to things like that, you know, and also, you know, and you just walk around, you know, like, you know, there's even people that have augmented and stuff. So essentially, like, you know, there's all kind of stuff you could do, like, you know, there's a lot of side quests and stuff, and it feels like even though you go around collecting quests, there's things that lead to another quest. You know, you're this character called V, and V just goes around and does all kind of weird stuff, like, you know, he'll interact with people, and you have, you know, all this cool combat and stuff. You know, there's a cool car chase scene at the beginning. You know, there's also like, you know, there's a lot of nudity in the game, and there's also some, if you wanted to sleep with like, you know, one of the joy toys, you know, which are basically prostitutes. And so basically you can do that if you wanted to. There's also, you know, there's also things like you can go and drink at a bar. You can also got some cool radio stations, and also there's a lot of cool things, you know, that is explorable within the game. You know, there's a lot of cool regions to explore and stuff. I really like that about the game. I do feel like, you know, the game was really fun. I spent a lot of time. Like, I remember I got the game for Christmas. After it downloaded, I played the game for like hours. Then I went to bed, and I went and saw Wonder Woman 84. Then I would come back and play the game for hours and hours. And so much so to where I could see, you know, like Cyberpunk in my head as I was sleeping. You know, that's how much I would. I almost literally bought a Johnny Silverhand figure because that's how much I love this game so much. I was like, I wanted a Johnny Silverhand because Keanu Reeves looks so badass as Johnny Silverhand. Johnny Silverhand is essentially was a character in the game that was killed off years ago during the Arasaka raid. And essentially, when V gets his mind, tricked, messed with, he essentially has an imaginary friend, which is Johnny Silverhand, that lives in his head. And so anytime, he's like that devil on your shoulder that tells you what you should and shouldn't do and stuff like that. And he's just an asshole, essentially. And he's played by Keanu Reeves, who's just so great in this role. Because Keanu Reeves has been known to be the nicest guy in the world. When he was first announced in 2019 at, E3, when they said, "Wake the fuck up, V." And then all of a sudden, and then he walks out and he goes, and then someone yells, "You're breathtaking." He goes, "You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking." That to me still today is just, I still remember that, the main thing. There's even an achievement. It was so popular, there's an achievement in this game called Breathtaking. And it's after you collect all of Johnny Silverhand stuff in the game, which I recommend watching a lot of YouTube tutorials about this game because there's so many side quests and things you might miss. In fact, they're coming out with a new update for Phantom Liberty. And there's even say you might want to replay the game or something, or you might miss the quest. And so, which I know they said they're going to fix it to where you can play the quest without having to do the whole game over. So that's pretty cool. I do think there's a lot of cool things. I will say, when it comes to bugs, there were 3 game crashing bugs. I remember one time, there has been a couple where characters we're talking to and their performance was, they look like PS3 characters, and the graphics jump back to PS4 to PS3. And also there was whenever I was in a shootout, then the game dropped and it said, "PlayStation, please report to error." And then of course I reported that. Then I played the game level again, and then of course there was something where I was driving and it cut out and it was an important story mission. I had to restart all over again. And just stuff like that was when I had issues with. And also, after you pretty much get all the clothes you want, and all you go around just because what I would do is I would just go around, pretend to be like RoboCop, and just put on a bunch of police gear, go around and just shoot a bunch of criminals, and then just collect all their loot, sell it, and then just gain more money, and then just keep doing that. That's what I would do. Or I would go and find a bunch of high-priced weapons, sell them, keep the ones I still wanted to do, and then just make money that way. I know there's some hacks I saw where someone would go get a soda can, melt it down, and then make a high-priced weapon and then sell that. I didn't do that. I just literally would just go. I was lazy. I just went and bought stole a bunch of stuff, and then pawned it and then got money. That's what I did. And then they added recently more updates where there's more apartments where you can go and customize the apartment and stuff like that. That's really cool. And they also added a character customization where you can not customize him completely, but just tweak him up some of your character, make him his hairstyle and his teeth and all that, and add makeup or not, and that's pretty cool. I thought you could do. And they also added some mini games where you could play The Witcher, little looks like a little hop over things, and stuff like that. I thought was pretty cool and stuff. And and now with the new update 2.0, they added like a Doom mini game where it's called Arasaka Tower. Where you're just going it's basically Doom, where you just go around shooting Arasaki men in a Doom style way, and and that's pretty cool. And they also added police system to try to, because the police was a joke in the old version. So now basically when you're playing in the game, the police will come after you instead of it's not just you drive away and they're whatever. Now it's they'll get the whole unit at you and everything. And you get I like that they gave some free clothing and stuff to the game. And this game is really fun. I really did enjoy it and everything. I do think that with the bugs and everything, and I do kind of wish they added more hobbies to do in the game. GTA, you have you play golf and swim and all that stuff. Mostly if you're not just going around killing people, or if you're not doing side quests, or if you're not, literally, you could watch TV, I guess, but they're smaller programs. It's not like GTA style where you're watching TV. And you can only watch certain programs, mostly news. And basically, you can listen to music. That's basically it, really. But and mostly if you're not side quest or just collecting loot is really the main thing that I think people kind of felt repetitive about. But I really enjoyed this game, and I know that I felt fun because to me this is the closest thing you're going to get to a Blade Runner game. Because if you ever want to live like a Blade Runner, go around killing augmented people, this is the game for you. If you want to be RoboCop and just go around in the gear that you want to look like discounted RoboCop and you just drive around a police car and just kill bad guys, this game is for you. It's first person, so there's no third person. The only thing is you can see your clothes in third person when you look in the mirror or when you are on a motorcycle, or other than that, you're always going to be first person. But I mean, it's a fun game. If I had to give this game a grade, I would give it an A-.
Wait the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.